I don't know what makes pizza so attractive. There really isn't anything fancy about it, and yet I've always felt it's a real treat. Luckily, it's not difficult to make at home. The full written recipe with the ingredient amounts and my favourite topping examples can be found on the blog. For the base, I'll need strong white wheat flour, water, salt and yeast. As usual, I'm going with fresh yeast, but dried will do just as well. I pour water into a bowl, followed by the yeast and salt. I like to give everything a quick mix before continuing so that the yeast and the salt are somewhat dissolved and evenly dispersed. Once I'm done, I add the flour. I give the dough an initial mix to roughly combine the ingredients. As soon as they somewhat come together, I flip the dough onto the counter. The sticky bits are only there because the water isn't yet evenly distributed. My dough is a low hydration one, and it should quickly become easy to handle. I knead it until I see good gluten development. After around a minute, I'm not even able to properly do the window pane test. The dough tears immediately. This means gluten formation is far from perfect. Ten minutes later, I repeat the window pane test, and now the dough can be stretched very thin before it starts tearing. It's smooth and elastic, just the way it should be. This indicates good gluten development. I round the dough ball and pop it into its bowl. I cover it to prevent drying. It will prove until it doubles in size. In the meantime, I'll prepare the tomato sauce. I need some tomato puree, homemade in my case, a bit of garlic and some dried oregano. I pour the tomato puree into a pan. It has already been boiled before jarring, but I like my sauce a bit more concentrated, so I'll simmer it some more until I find the thickness just right. While the sauce simmers, I stir it occasionally to prevent it from burning. When the sauce is close to ready, I start preparing the garlic. I peel it, crush it, and mince it as finely as I can. A garlic press would have worked well too. Once it's as fine as it gets, I toss it into the sauce. I stir it in and let the sauce simmer for a couple minutes more. When the sauce is ready, I turn the stove off and add the prepared oregano. Now I can set the sauce aside and use it when the pizza bases are ready. My toppings today include pepperoni, pickled boot jalapenos, and green olives. Mozzarella and parmesan are non-negotiable. While often just torn to large chunks, I prefer my mozzarella roughly diced. The olives get sliced. And the peppers get minced fairly finely. Now back to the dough. It has risen nicely, so I flip it onto the counter and knock it back, or remove gas from it by folding it a couple times. Then I divide the dough into 2 roughly equal portions. I round them and let them rest for 15 minutes to half an hour. This will re-inflate the dough a bit and relax the gluten mesh, making the dough balls stretchier. When it's time to form the pizza bases, I sprinkle a generous amount of semolina on the counter and cover both sides of the dough ball. Regular flour will work too. I flatten and stretch the dough ball until it either becomes the right size or gives too much resistance. If that happens, I move on to the other pizza base while the first one rests. Just a minute or 2 should be enough to relax the gluten mesh a bit and make the pizza base stretchy again. Once a base is done, I place it on a pizza sheet sprinkled with some more semolina. Now it's ready to receive the sauce and the toppings. First goes the sauce. I try to spread it somewhat evenly, but without going all the way to the edge of the base. Then I toss in the mozzarella. The olives and the hot peppers come next. Pepperoni. Freshly grated parmesan. And then it's oven time. And here's the final result. The edge is puffy and crunchy with an occasional charred spot here and there, exactly the way I like it. The smell is fantastic, and so is the taste. It even makes me forget how hot this pizza is. It's so good it makes every burn on my palate worth it.